Hey everybody, welcome to the second episode of the Fadeaway. I'm your host Freddie, as usual. A few housekeeping items. I want y'all to know that you can keep in contact with everybody else via the Discord, or even ESPN does have a chat. So if you want to make some trades, make some of your people available, you can either actually make your player available on the trade block, or talk to other people, try to arrange something. Another thing also is that something that a lot of people, there was a little bit of controversy about. Vetoing is possible. So once it hits like 8, 10 vetoes, I believe, I think it's 10 vetoes, half the league vetoing a trade. That's how you can kind of make your voice heard on some of these absurd trades that you might see, et cetera, that you deem a little unfair. But yeah, I think that's the main thing today. So let's actually get into our episode. All right. So your host, as usual, me, Freddie. Two pictures of me. I'm cute. You already know the vibes. And my host for today is my brother. Introduce yourself, bro.
Hey, what's up? I'm Gerald. I'm here to talk Who's the Show today. The best I know. Um, yeah, man, I don't really watch basketball like that, but I'm gonna do the best I can.
Dog, it's been a fun ass season, especially if you just like know stats and stuff, man. It's just
Yeah, I
because
just be
like,
looking at the numbers like, hey, man, this dude got a lot of
man,
rebounds
this
the other day,
motherfucker
bro.
hooping right now. Like, that's all you really
He
need to know, and that's why I kind of like fantasy, man. Like
he
anybody can
rolling
really
the
get into
dice.
it. Yeah, anyone can really get into it. This is dope. But yeah, like I guess I'll leave the floor to you if you want to talk shit to anybody this season so far. We're 4 weeks in. Like, what you got to say to people right now?
Nah,
Any,
man, it
any
was
anybody you want to call out? Anybody you want to say fuck you
nah,
to?
man, that's nah, man. Me and Gerard were beefing, but I think we squashed it like Crips and Bloods, and Justin was a good opponent, so I can't really
I'm
say anything
facing
about
I'm
him.
facing Justin this week. I think honestly, I think it's gonna be light work because I'm kind of whooping him right now. But I mean, we'll see because anything can
I
happen
can
in the next couple of days. But at the moment,
yeah
I see myself going to 3-1.
yeah. I talked John about my opponent, but first of all, I don't know him. Plus, like I'm losing by a little bit right now, so it's gonna be crazy if I talk all this joint and then look stupid.
Nah, bro, it's not even looking stupid. It's just having false confidence, which
All right, you know what? I'm gonna talk my joint. All y'all suck. I'm the best, including you, Freddie.
I mean, you said junk though, but you're not speaking facts. But it's whatever though. It's whatever though. All right. So, a thing that we're gonna talk about is basically y'all can't really see it because my face is covering it. I thought that I had moved it around, but the topic today is to trade to or not to trade. That is the question. Um, basically, I think we've had a few trades, and one of the bigger ones that kind of sparked the lead was the James Harden one. James Harden for Keegan Murray, Malcolm Brogdon, and there was another person thrown in there. But I think that made a lot of people upset and kind of high on notice and whatnot. Um, and yeah, what'd you think about it overall, though?
I thought some it's like why some of these trades like bro, why you even wasting energy like
Yeah,
some of these trades are like super troll, man. Like, and it's only one man who doing all these troll
it's
trades.
only yeah. We all know who it is. It's Gerard.
You know, yeah,
So far this season, Gerard and Justin have the most trades with four apiece. Um, two with Jude, and two with quintessential bros. I think that's Jonathan Ma. Then most other people have one. There's a lot of people with zero as well that just haven't traded whatsoever. Um, and yeah, so like with that said, it's interesting because like the people who are trading the most so far have the most or they have two losses apiece, but also you have Hong and Himi Turner. No, actually, Hong. You're Himi Turner. Actually,
yeah,
Hong, Young Syrup, and Quintessential Bros has 2 trades and still has 3 losses. So I mean, it's the matter of which trades actually become beneficial. Um, but yeah, it's an interesting one. But like, we can even talk about some of the trades that have happened. Let me actually see if I can find them.
Gerard's trying to trade me Colin Sexton, Andre Drummond for Andrew Wiggins, and it's like,
Bro would trade away his firstborn kid if he could, bro. He always trying to make these fucking trades, man. But
bro, it's
I get it.
Sexton, but he tried to trade me Sexton when he pretty much like had like a career low. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Dude scored 3 points. Try to chase me Sexton.
So
Andre Drummond would be cool for like rebound. I mean, Andre Drummond is like getting a lot of boards because I mean that's pretty much what he's good for. But I mean,
yeah,
between Colin Sexton, like I mean, Andrew Wiggins, kind of like he to me he's like kind of like a balance of those two, minus like the boards. He probably gets a lot less boards, but he puts up points and um, might get an assist or two. But I don't know. It depends. It depends what you need. But
yeah, for sure. So one of the most recent trades that just happened, and like I know we were like talking about the James Harden trade. Everybody was going back and forth about that, but like James Harden also just injured himself, which is bad news for Tab because like I know that man wanted to trade him, and then he was probably trying to figure out if he was getting fleeced or not because it's a big thing, right? If you don't really keep up with the players and all that other stuff, you really don't know um, like what necessarily is happening. But um, yeah, it's like the most recent trade: Kyle Lowry, Desmond Bain, who's having a very good season, Tobias Harris for Reggie Bullock, Dame Lillard, and Seth Curry. And that trade could be considered relatively even, right? But like, you do give up a lot with Desmond Bain because he's playing really well, and maybe Jude doesn't really know the value of him, but it's also like I think a thing to think about when you're looking at these trades is like what overall is your gain and what do you have to give up for it, and I think that's also like a big hard thing to kind of swallow because you don't want to give up much and you want to come out on top on most trades. That's why I feel very what's it called, hesitant to accept a lot, but yeah.
a lot of people, well, for me, more like Andrew Wiggins, and it's like, man, what do they see in him that I don't see? And it's
Yeah.
like if I give him up and then start getting dumpstered, then it's like, all right. I think me and Justin had a very civilized conversation about the Bonchero Williams trade. We're like,
Yeah.
yeah, I consider that. Blah blah blah. I think what I offer him at first, I was like, um, some dude on his team. I said Bonchero Garland for Wiggins,
Yeah.
which is like kind of troll. But I was just keeping on his toes, and he was like, man, get out of here with that.
I think the one
Also,
thing. What's up?
I feel like I don't know who this Lonnie Walker guy is, but I feel like he going up for trade like every two
Yeah,
games.
that man on the block all the time, bro. The one thing, I do regret, I guess you could consider like waivers and waivers kind of part of that trade block in people's transactions basically. The one thing I do regret that I had at the beginning of the season was Bobo. Because all of a sudden, like, Bobo just starts getting minutes and stuff like that. And for me, I personally thought with the way he was running and kind of doing his thing, I was kind of like, oh man, this motherfucker's going to get injured. And I had him at the beginning of the season, and I was holding him, and then I dropped him like 2 days later. And I'm just like, why did I drop him? Because now he's popping off for Tank for Tatum or David's team, and I'm just like, that's a big thing. You have a Like if you have regrets about dropping people and they just go off. Have you had any regrets so far?
Me, no. I
Yeah,
think
I'm sure people will have trade regrets soon too. Yeah, but me and you
people.
both haven't done any trades, so it's not like trade regrets and drop regrets. But
I just try to watch like the free agents, like
yeah,
you know, like I picked up Lonzo. I just put in my injury reserves. Hopefully, like
yeah.
right now, I mean,
Lonzo's knee situation is super weird.
yeah. So maybe towards like the end of the second half, but right now in the free agents, there's people like um Maxi Cabler, who's playing a lot of minutes but not producing a lot.
Yeah,
Uh, Joshua Primo, Kobe White. I'm actually surprised.
but you gotta keep in mind like Maxi Kleber is basically, and that's a big thing to think about with fantasy is like Maxi Kleber is very essential to that Mavs team because he runs a lot of like um, pick and roll with Luca, but then those don't show up on the stats, right? Although he is getting a lot of, he's enabling Luca to do what he does, right? Him and Dwight Powell, but like because it's not like a stat like out there, it's like we don't really care about it, which sucks. Um,
Yeah,
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 it's like dang, you did help him score, but like that you don't get an assist for like screening. You know what I mean? Like anybody can come
yeah.
up to the thing and fucking screen. Like,
I feel like at
but
most maybe like some rebounds or something like that.
yeah, this ain't
Yeah.
2K where you get like a teammate score for it. Like we like really don't care, which kind of sucks. All right, so we're gonna go on to the next question. So these are the current standings right now. Just for context, D Woo or Team Woo or Daniel Woo. Last season he was dead last. I don't think he won a single game. This
That's funny.
season he is the top of the top. Right?
That
Yeah,
was my
it's
surprise for
huh?
the season. That was my surprise for the season.
Yeah, and that was actually one of the next slides. But like, I mean, I'm looking at his squad a little bit right now. He got like Gary Trent Jr., which Gary
What
Trent's gonna,
wrong with him this season?
yeah, Gary Trent's gonna do what he got to do. He has Luca. Luca's like career highs and everything, right? I went Jokic this season. Honestly, I don't regret it, but dang, like Luca is doing something amazing. I'm not gonna lie. He has like Bradley Beal, Keldon Johnson. Keldon Johnson's gonna, always get his minutes. Christoph Porzingis, Brooke Lopez. Brooke Lopez has always been a very solid pick. Very big in blocks. Alex uh, Puka Shefsky. He's like one of those dudes that was like with him and like Chet, they were gonna call him the Thin Towers, but then Chet got injured. But like he's getting a lot more minutes because of that. Like he has a pretty good squad, and then like Saul Goodman with Carlo. Haven't really looked at his squad too much, but like those are the two undefeated. He has like Tyrese Halliburton, DeAndre Ayton, Trey Murphy, who actually is from the Bull City area, which is kind of cool. Went to UVA, and then he's actually from Durham, North Carolina. I think Michael knows him, if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of cool.
Who? Who?
Uh, Trey Murphy the third. He plays for New
Oh,
Orleans.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. He said he played him.
yeah. Michael actually played against him. I think in high school. Um, yeah, it's also interesting because I don't think he realizes that Jeremy Grant is off of. Unless he's just not playing Jeremy Grant, but Jeremy Grant is off of injury reserve and he's still winning despite that, which is kind of crazy. Maybe he forgot to set his lineup this week, but yeah. So I mean, and then also there's a projection there, right, with the playoff bracket and stuff like that. So, I mean, with that said, what are your overall thoughts about the standings and just like who's top and the bottom people? Do you see them climbing out of out of those bottom three slots? Because we only have three teams who haven't picked up a win this week.
Right. I think if Gerard could finish, find the perfect trade, he probably if he could find the perfect finesse in the trade, maybe. I mean, he has like Kyle Lowry, Zach LaVine, Dragic. Um, and his squad. I mean, his squad looked better before, and then you got maybe if Kawhi comes back.
Yeah, because Kawhi has
Um,
been under like knee management
yeah,
right now on some real stupid shit. Like they're just not letting him play, and he's frustrated. But currently, Gerard actually does. He's winning his matchup. Um, Hong and his squad, they're winning their matchup. Young Syrup is losing his matchup against somebody who has someone on injury reserve that is playing tonight. And Quintessential Bros this week, I mean, they're winning their matchup. But it's also like we've only played 2 games, and everybody played Monday and Wednesday because Tuesday everybody was off to vote, which was, a nice thing. So, um, yeah, I mean, some people might pick up some wins this week, but I'm kind of.
yeah. So I got a question. This Dame's chicken curry box. This Dame's chicken and curry. Did he pick those people and then name his team after?
I don't think he had. Did he pick up Dame? I thought
He has Dame and Stephen Curry. Like he's
he.
both the Curry Bros.
Oh, I think he just got Dame. Yeah, he just got Dame from trade with
From
Gerard.
trade. Yeah.
But
Did he just changed his name? Wait, what?
yeah, he
Wait.
just changed his name because he was Derm Curry times two.
Okay.
Yeah, so he just changed his name. No, he just changed his name. That's Jude. That's Gerard's brother. That's funny. Um,
Cool.
yeah. So
I
yeah,
think I think Tad has a chance to come back once James Harden comes back. I think pretty much everybody with like a pretty much everybody with like a key injury right now. Some people are underperforming because of key injuries. Like
yeah,
whoever has Kawhi Leonard, whoever has James Harden.
yeah,
Um, I think they
yeah.
all have a potential of coming back when
Yeah, because if you look at it, the first round of playoffs is January 30th, right? So anything can happen within. We have like a couple of weeks, right? It's like 15 weeks of playing this. Like anything can happen, right? Um, so there are people who are playing long term. I think like people with Pablo. With like Pablo, you got like Keegan Murray, who's like he's been playing pretty well. There's a lot of like what's it called rookies who just might get a lot better, right? And it's also just like long term, you just don't know who's gonna have that breakout season.
yeah,
So
I think Lamelo, both ball like Lamelo's out too.
yep,
Like
yep.
whoever's Lamelo. So
hmm and you don't even know like the everybody's like ragging on
Gary
the Lakers.
Gary
It's only been
Gary,
like 10 games.
Gary Payton.
Yeah, Gary Payton. Yeah, that's a big one because Gary Payton. I think he's pretty up there in steals and whatnot. He plays such good defense too, and that could be essential to any team that wants to pick him up. Yeah,
You feel like points are one thing. You can always find the point scorers, but like people who like steals, I feel like steals and blocks make or break
I
games.
think so
So
too.
it's like yeah, just because I and possibly turnovers.
Yeah,
I think with steals and blocks, they're so like how do I say this? Like they're one of those stats that are like really rarer
yeah,
than others. So it's like you have low numbers. So you have to find someone who sometimes it's worth finding a person who's like really good at one of those things. Not so
yeah,
much rebounds. Yeah, well, typically somebody rebounds a lot. Typically they'll block a lot too. Not all the time,
yeah,
but like
yeah. Typically,
correlation. So, but there's like especially in the free agents round, there's like um it's huge that Precious Achua,
yeah. Preston
I
Achua.
think yeah, Precious Achua literally just got dropped today
Yeah, but
because he
if
got
you look at it, look at he just got dropped today because He's been diagnosed with partial tears in his ligament in his right
Yeah, yeah,
ankle.
right. So
Yeah,
a ligament tear is like it's you're probably gonna be out for
a
like you're not
minute.
gonna recover. Yeah, you're probably not gonna recover. Like the league will be over by the time.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
so, it's a good thing to drop. And then
And it sucks because he's
um,
the second. I think his second year in his career. He's a second year. He's solid, man.
yeah, and then you have a lot of people with so for instance, kind of like some of the top blockers right now, like Bismack Biyombo.
Yep.
If you're looking for like somebody who blocks and stuff like that, maybe Bismack Biyombo. He's in the free
Yeah.
agent. I'm tempted to picking up myself, but I really don't care that much.
Yeah. One
I'm
one
like,
thing I regret doing my first couple of years playing this game was just not having a more balanced team. Like I would I remember like the couple of years before, I would always have a team that everybody on my team could shoot like crazy, make a ton of points, but then on those other stats, like for instance, last year I had Westbrook, like hella inefficient, right? But then I didn't think about other stuff that would make up for him, right? Like I think about it. He's always gonna have at least 3 to 5 turnovers a game, right? That is just Westbrook, and that is just the magic of being a primary ball handler, right? You will have turnovers. It happens, right? And
right,
with
like
that said,
Trey Young had 4 game easy.
yeah, yeah. And with that said, I never really thought about, okay, I might need some players here that could, kind of offset that a little bit. Maybe there's a chance where and even like I think about if he's primarily scoring too, there's people who will punt your field goal percentage and your free throw percentage. So that's always things to like think about, right? Like when you're getting like people who are high volume scorers. Like even I think you were talking about like Terrence Ross, right? Terrence Ross consistently for the last couple of seasons has always been that off the bench player just putting up a ton of points, but he is extremely inefficient. He's like Lou Will, but worse, right? So, it's always one of those things, man. But yeah, we're gonna go on to the next slide. But yeah, I do want to ask you, like, what's your big? And you kind of already mentioned it. Like, what's your biggest surprise this season from a managerial standpoint? Like in
That
terms
boy
of
D
like,
Woo,
huh?
yeah, that boy D Woo, man, he got a
Yeah.
dog in him this season, man.
Nah, bro. He got that. He went to that PhD program and he got smart. That's all I want to say, man. Because that man like I think, and also it was so much people talking shit to him at the beginning of the season. I think he heard that shit and he took that shit
Yeah,
personally, man. Yeah, you gotta
yeah.
silence the crowd for sure, for sure. And then like in terms of players that are kind of making like a shock to me right now, I think Laurie Marketing has been like one of those players where I'm just like I didn't expect him to produce as much as he is at the moment, and I think that was he got taken pretty late in the draft, um, and then I forget who picked him up. Seattle Hardens picked him up in the fifth round, right? And he was one of those players where I was just kind of like, man, it's like the Jazz are just gonna have this like rebuilding season. They're not gonna be that good, and like the Jazz are with the Milwaukee Bucks are some of the only 8-win teams out there. Because Milwaukee actually lost their first game I think last night against Detroit, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, what about you in terms of players? Like, who's been impressing you?
As far as players go,
Mm-hmm.
um, right now Kuz is balling.
Kuz.
Kuz, Ni hao.
Ni hao. Ni hao. Yeah, man.
Kuz is balling right now.
It's so.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, I think who are they playing right now? Like I forget, but I knew he's been kind of steady. I think they're playing Dallas, but he's been kind of steady production for most of the season, in my opinion.
Yeah, 36 points tonight. Shot above 50%.
Right.
5 for 11 from three. 6 assists. 4 turnovers, but you can always live with that, you know.
Right. I mean,
Yeah, and they get the
yeah.
win.
Yeah, and they get the win. So right now, Kuzman. I'm kind of disappointed in Trey Young, Presley.
Mm,
Just because his field goal percentage, I mean, he's still putting up the points. Still has like the turnovers of like kind of like a regular guard, but um, just if you have him on your squad and you know everybody's shooting 50, 60%, that 30% is gonna make it look pitiful, and sometimes even field goal percentage can make or break your
yeah,
field goal. So, um,
yeah, and that's exactly some of the stuff I was experiencing with Westbrook last season, and it was super frustrating. So I get that a lot. And Trey Young actually right now is shooting the worst in the NBA out of everybody. He's shooting like 30%. And that's the worst out of everybody shooting. That's taken 150 attempts, right? So it's not just like random players that are just like not shooting and then like having a high percentage. This is compared against some of the higher volume shooters in the league. So he's having a little bit of an off season. I don't know. Like they got the new addition of Dejounte Murray. I don't know if he's playing well. I haven't really looked too much, but like um, that kind of sucks for him. I'm not gonna lie. Oh wait, Dejounte Murray balling. What the fuck? Oh my god. Okay, so Dejounte Murray is balling, so he's probably picking up that slack for him. And he's shooting pretty well, like above like 50%. Actually like 45%, but it's better than 30. And Trey Young can just not get it going, so that's a weird thing to look at. Um, yeah, Trey Young this month alone is shooting 34%, and then last month he shot, which was like the start of the season. He's shooting 39%. So, and I mean there was a game he went 3 for 13, just 29% from the field. So, but he's always like at least shooting 20 shots a game. So I don't know. And actually a game where he had like 10 turnovers, which is kind of absurd. Um, you know, that's that Freddie Van Fleet special though. But yeah, I think this is our last slide. But yeah, any closing remarks from you, bro?
um, everyone just have fun, man. Just really have fun. Fun fact: every roster in ESPN Fantasy League has Don Donich, Ja Morant, Steph Curry. Those three. Everyone else is 99.9%. So there's some people who don't have Devin Booker, Trey Young, LeBron James, Damian Lillard, James. Even Joe James Harden is out. People still have him on the roster. So,
Yeah,
but it's just Lamelo Ball. People have still have him on the roster.
yeah, yeah. And I think a lot that's like the power of IE, right? The IR. And I want to remind everybody, you can put two players on the injury reserve. So if you see somebody with potential that you want to put there, definitely do that. But keep in mind that you have to drop somebody to get somebody if you're gonna do that.
Yeah.
So like say if you're like, okay, I want LaMelo Ball and I want to put him on the injury reserve, you have to drop someone initially. I don't think you could drop and then pick them back up. I don't think that's a thing, but because you have to clear waivers, and unless you happen to be like higher on the waiver board, it's like you can't really do much about that. But yeah, but yeah. Anyway, thank you again for your time, Gerald, and also thank you everybody for who's gonna watch this. Thank you for supporting the second episode. Um, Again, second episode of the Fadeaway. I'm trying to do these like bi-weekly, just about. This one was a little longer, but still. Um, if you're interested in being a guest, definitely reach out on Discord. I'm always looking for new people. Next time on, I think we're gonna have possibly Michael, but maybe I'll switch it up. Whoever wants to definitely come on, talk their shit, and we can have multiple guests even. But remember, uh, Westbrook is still my GOAT. He's actually the best Laker right now, which is actually so nice because I talked it into existence. But all right, man. Y'all have a good night and stay breezy.
Yeah, man. Be up.